Hello, and welcome to kind of an unexpected episode. I know that I was going to be talking about river chasing and finishing up all the introductions for that, but I had rediscovered these old characters that I had created, purely comfort characters from a couple of years ago, and I started doing a speed paint and thought, should probably record that. And here we are. Here's this episode. So these characters were created as a part of a playthrough of mine for the Warrior Cats fan game, Untold Tales by Falcon Develops. Loved that game so much. It's truly what got me through kind of a hard time in my life, just being dedicated to playing it. And these two are two of the four characters that were in the first generation lineup. No, I haven't really played past them because my old computer that I played on crashed and I lost their game files. So when I re-downloaded it, I had to start all over again, and I really haven't continued the second generation that much. However, I want to talk about these guys because they're quite lovely. The fancy boy that you're seeing being drawn right now, very angry guy, is Owlbelly. He is my favorite of the three, over the three other protagonists. The first generation, he clearly is like my fan favorite. So sorry, car. He was born to a rogue named Felix Flame and a Shadowclan warrior named Coriander Blossom. His litter mate was the guy he's staring across the road at, named Snakespire. But there was a prophecy when they were very little, where basically I believe both the Shadowclan and Windclan Medicine Cat had seen that the two would need to be apart. So a Windclan patrol of just the leader and Medicine Cat came and picked Owlkit up, and they were separated. Owlbelly was so young that he has no memory of it, and no one, at least not until he was much older, ever told him that he was, of Shadowclan descendants. So he never gets to live with his family or know them, which kind of gives him a really difficult time in Windclan. Not because he's hated or anything, but because he doesn't have any rooted connections except for the the once leader Deadstar, who had been leader when he was brought in. Now, Owlbelly was taken care of by a lovely she-cat named Birchhawk, and she nursed him when he was a kid, then became his mentor, and all was going well. She was a very supportive source in his life until she passed away. And the next person in line was given as a mentor, the worst person, Lavender Song. Lavender Song was a very violent, bloodthirsty individual. The last person that you would want an impressionable young child being around. So sorry. And we had poor Owlpaw become very, very violent and aggressive, and his whole life was really uncomfortable. He fell in love with a RiverClan cat, who is our RiverClan protagonist, Cobblespeckle, and they couldn't run away together or be together because he soon became Windclan's deputy, and Cobblespeckle was the only medicine cat with literally no apprentice in sight. So, you know, both were very tied down, and their relationship was entirely kept a secret, which was really unfortunate. But he has a whole other litter of kits in RiverClan, and they don't even know. And his mate in Windclan, Feathertooth, has very little interest in him and only wants to be around him because he is the deputy, and that makes him seem better and more impressionable. And she cares very little for their kits and much rather flirt around with another Windclan warrior than be around him. And it's so he's really prone to being aggressive and distant from everyone else, but what kind of opens him up is his lovely litter of kits, which he, after they become like old enough, he kind of raises them on their own, and that's pretty much where his story I've written it as far as it is. He stays deputy for a really long time and has a really difficult relationship with his brother and his parents, and his younger siblings, which I'll talk about when I talk about Snakespire. But he very much is Windclan through and through, and he loves, you know, being deputy and being trying to better himself, but clearly he was built on a very rocky foundation, and he can't be expected to immediately be his best, but he does soften up over time. And he was really, really fun because he was just a bit of a he was the chaos guy. I got to play a really fun, chaotic, dangerous character who got to know all the like killing moves and that, and he picked a lot of fights with Shadowclan, which is kind of what we're seeing in this this like epic showdown between the two. And yeah, that's Owlbelly. Love him. He's problematic, and I stand that because it's just really interesting. Now, Snakespire is, I gotta play with Snakespire a lot longer, so I have more of his like adult life written out, and I have more of Owlbelly's like childhood and before playing the game life, because I spent a lot more time fleshing him out. Snakespire was one of the two siblings that got to stay behind in Shadowclan. He got to be raised by his father and his mother. Felix Flame joined the clan during that time, going from being just Felix to Felix Flame. Coriander Blossom had a second litter of kits, that being Smoke Blossom, Shadow Stalker, Blaze Sleep, and Cinder Dusk, which Snakespire was kind of helping be around, and he very much was ingrained in his family life and had a really strong connection with Shadowclan. And while he was like ambitious, and a bit more like, I'm gonna do some cool stuff, he was very much, and it's no fault to him, he's an average guy. His mentor was great, but never pushed him too far to do anything like super outstanding. He trained 4 apprentices, 3 of which made it to warriorhood, one of them which died accidentally. I think a car. Oh, I'm reading through it. Hold on. I don't know. Oh, he dies in a Windclan battle. So, like, Snakespire is pretty, he's an average guy, and his life hasn't been too difficult, especially not when, oh my god, loud car. You know, he's been kind of just raised around, like, his family, his parents, he got to be raised around them. Siblings are cool. He had a mate named Spotfur, which was an auto-generated name from the game, and I didn't know that it was also a cat in the books, so that's funny to me. Spotfur was great. She was also like an average character, who they had a litter of kits together, and she passed away defending them, and Snakespire kind of moved on afterwards, and like his life is pretty average, and I think that's what's most interesting, is because he's kind of, he wants to be stuck in that like average boring life where he's like, no, it's fine, it's really fine, I don't really, like, he's never gonna kill anyone or really hurt anyone that badly. He just wants to like sit with his children and his mate and just be an average guy. And that's kind of why he's so interesting in comparison to like how he acts around his brother, because he was told almost immediately that he has another, like, a litter mate in Windclan, so he was always trying to be close to his brother, but always got pushed away. Obviously, because Owlbelly was like, I don't know you, please leave me alone, I'm trying to do my thing, right? But they were, you know, siblings trying to be together, and so Snakespire has never truly had to like realize that his brothers had a hard, difficult time that he just didn't have to deal with by being in Shadowclan, and on top of that, that maybe his brother doesn't want to be around him or any of that, and so once like that realization kicks in, which is in his adulthood, he is in complete denial about how his relationship is with everyone, and I find that really interesting, because if there's one thing about Snakespire that I love, it's that he's in denial about how average and boring his life is. Because the other 3 protagonists, including Owlbelly, are way more interesting and have a lot more going on, and Snakespire has always been kind of like the, you're the average, you know, run-of-the-mill background character, and so I've always found it like he's completely in denial about how he's not a background character anymore, and I love him for that. I think he's really good in that way. He's just like a nice, helpful guy who helps all his kits and is super just chill and average, and that's completely okay, and I love him for that. The other 2, which I might go into later, but Cobblespeckle, the RiverClan cat, and then Dawncloud, the ThunderClan cat, are also really interesting and cool, and I love Cobblespeckle and I love Dawn Cloud for different reasons. But I think I want to talk a little bit about the speed paint because look at this. It looks cool. It looks so cool. And let's get into that. If you saw, I was going to do another set of mountains. Like, it's even in my initial sketch, but I loved the background mountains too much to cover it up. And I just wanted to keep them the way they were. I didn't know what to do for the marshy lands of Shadowclan, so I just did some dirt and I'll throw some grass on top of it. And yeah, I wasn't like completely certain how to do marshes, and honestly the simple field of Windclan was far easier to do. Yeah. The sky's pretty. I know I'm running out of things to say, but it's mostly because I would love to talk a lot about just these two boys and how truly chaotic they are and how much I love them, and I would love to do more for them or other OCs that I have, because I truly absolutely have so many Warrior Cat OCs. I can't commit to one story, and these guys will forever hold a little special place in my heart for just being the complete nonsensical babies that they are. And this doesn't even cover the like overarching plot that was created for my playthrough of the game, because the playthrough is called Dawn Rising and the main character is Dawn Cloud, the ThunderClan cat, and it's about basically how the forest reacts to a tragedy that happens in ThunderClan when a cat that gets found from, it was born to a rogue, gets brought into ThunderClan, and that cat basically destroys the connection to StarClan and a couple other things that I haven't quite figured out. Not a lot of that happens until Generation 2. The first generation is really just about figuring out what the state of the forest is like at the moment, which, not good. Every clan hates each other, and a bunch of the kits that are born to our protagonists are sweet and amazing, and there was one of Owlbelly's kits that I was really sad passed away, because I randomly generate who survives and who doesn't at the end of every generation, and then unless like there's a specific thing, which I forgot to mention, I made a bunch of random generators for this game, because the game gets really boring after you like max everything out if you don't. So I like added a bunch of stuff to make it interesting and add a bunch of like challenges and all of that. And one of the things that always happens is like who is the heir, and there's certain like generated options that'll decide who the heir is, whether that's like your kit or not. And one of the things in that generator is after the once it's like adulthood and it's time for the next heir, you randomly generate who survived, and then if they died, like how they died. My favorite kit of Owlbelly's name originally was Pigeon Face. I changed it to Pigeon Feather, I think. I could be wrong. Let me look. because yeah, I changed it to Pigeon Feather. So cute. I loved him so much. He was this just small little fluffy boy, trans. I was very excited to play him, and then when I rolled it, he died. He died because he fell off some rocks, and I just went, okay, well, moving on to who did I pick instead? Who was picked? Oh, his brother of the same litter, who has a cool name, Condor Screech. That's a cool name. Love to meet like a warrior in the books who has that kind of name. And yeah, Snakespire's kid that becomes the heir is Rattlesnap. That's also a cool name. Keeping with the like snake theme. Anyways, yeah, this speed paint is almost over. Thanks for listening to me rant about my stupid OCs for a video game I played that is so old there's no updates on it anymore. Go support Falcon Develops newer stuff in Cattails, especially Cattails Wildwood, which is out now, not on Kickstarter, not fully released, but it's on Kickstarter. Support that. It's very cool. If I had any money, I would support it, but I don't. And yeah, next week, well, unless I do something different, it's probably just going to be the emotion chart for Dark Colony, and then we'll be moving on to probably talking about a lot of lore. And yeah, I'm not quite sure what else will be done, but if you got this far, I appreciate it.